conflict. Do you think if men took accountability for their actions with the women, both taking accountability that for the child that they've created, that they've helped create, do you think that more women would feel the need to do this? Because you mentioned only a financial concern.
Men don't have choice. They have to take accountability.
I'm just saying.
I didn't mean financially was the only thing. I also think my parents were just both mentally unfit to have a child at all, which I don't want you guys to take that too seriously when I'm like, I wish I was aborted. That's obviously like a talking point. It's obviously a...
Was it a talking point?
Yeah, it was. Because
then when I followed up with you, do you want to be alive right now? You're like, well...
Because I'm funny and people in this day and age don't want to live sometimes. I don't know. But what's it called?
I mean, that sounds...
To answer her question...
Sounds kind of miserable.
It's a joke. To answer her question...
Sounds like cope, not a joke.
I don't mean... My point that I was trying to make was that there are some circumstances where I just think the parents should not be parents at all. Like, it would just be worse for anything that was born, like, regardless. Like, I just think, like, maybe I don't mean, like, I don't want to live at all, but, like, I would have rather been born to a million other different parents, and I know that's impossible, and it's a lottery.
Yeah, but
what
I
I'm
don't
saying
understand
is,
why these are exclusive positions.
So
you can have horrible parents after the baby is born, and you know what happens? If there's horrible parents... Kid gets taken out and placed with another family.
Right.
Same
Not
exact
always.
thing that she just suggested.
Sometimes it's
but
like
that's
just bad.
But here's the thing: you can't always put an always on it. It's like saying, well, we shouldn't outlaw murder because there's always going to be some murders. Yeah, there are. There's nothing you can do to mitigate.
So are you a relativist
100% everything. That's not relativism. It's the opposite of relativism. It's not even pragmatism. It's recognizing objective reality. That sure, even if you outlaw murder, there's still going to be murders. But these are not exclusive positions. I understand saying, well, you can have bad parents. Yeah, that's true. What does that have to do with aborting children?
Maybe some parents know that they would be bad parents at the time.
They don't have to keep the child.
Why wouldn't the child for adoption?
Why wouldn't the foster care system is awful?
No, adoption is not the same as the foster care system.
Okay, maybe they don't have anyone who's ready to adopt.
Why are people who are not prepared to take the consequences of their actions having sex to begin with? Because then you are blaming the child for the consequences of your actions, like the miss over there said, that you're putting the full onus of the consequence on that unborn baby because you chose to be irresponsible. That is a reactionary response. And I would say that a man is just as dangerous as a woman who decides to abort the child. But it in no way would benefit you to even be with somebody, a man especially, who tells you, yeah, I want to kill my own child. That man can't be trusted to take care of you either. So in what way, for what reason does it make sense to punish a child because you choose to be irresponsible in your own day-to-day life and that man? That is the most feminine thing I could
Maybe
even
you're not
think
punishing the child, you're saving the child.
by murdering it.
Yes. By the life it would have had if it was born.
Wait, what?
You're saving it from the life it would have had if it was born.
How benevolent of you.
Yes.
That's why this is why the benevolent patriarchy must exist. Because if we left it to people like you say, the most benevolent thing we could do is fucking kill you. That's literally your line of logic.
If there were
here.
better welfare societal systems in place, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
How about responsible men?
For children?
It's just that we don't have enough welfare.
Yeah.
Which demographic would you thought, if you had to think about it, takes up a huge majority of welfare funds?
Single mothers.
Oh, I thought we just didn't have enough of a welfare system, but they're getting tons of cash from the welfare system. What the fuck are you talking about?
Didn't the welfare system actually incentivize the degradation of the family
Especially
unit?
in particular communities, yes.
Yeah.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. I cannot think of anything less worthy of joking
The
about
patriarchs
than tending
need help.
unborn life. We cannot choose our parents, but we can choose our path. Feminism has failed you. The patriarchy is here to help.
I feel enlightened.
Yo, Grid 1, good to see you in the chat, man.
benevolent
Thank you very
patriarchy.
much. While we have that in, we do have a couple other chats. Let me just get through the chats and then we'll continue on with some of the convo here. So, Grid 1, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. We have Pico. B, love to see Andrew on. Ladies, if on OF and want to move on, start developing other skills now. You can make millions later if you start now. Sex is the easiest way to do it, but it's not good long term. Okay, thank you, Pico. Appreciate it, man.
True.
We have Rose. Rose coming in. The blonde InfoWars is preaching Sky Daddy principles to the locusts from the pit, casting pearls to swine. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. The book of Joel is great. Do you have a quick response?
I would say that. I would say that
Big Sass Energy donated $200.
Oh, Big Sass
Any
Energy.
other girl in any other country would be so happy to be in this girl's shoes. The fact this girl thinks it preferable to be aborted shows the level of ungratefulness despite a difficult upbringing.
I would.
Well,
do you wanna-
don't worry. She's going to talk to her
Okay.
therapist
Hold
about
on,
it.
but do you want to
It'll be
respond to
okay.
that really quick?
Yeah, maybe I am a little ungrateful to my parents because they had me at a time. And in general, I'd just say I'm ungrateful to my parents. They shouldn't have had me. But that doesn't mean I'm ungrateful of where I am. I still am very happy with my circumstances.
Well,
with
then
the
they
fact
should
that
have
I'm
had you.
alive. Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. I
That
get
makes
what
no
you,
sense.
Okay,
It's illogical.
I understand the argument that you're making. Okay, you ended up fine. Look at you, you're fine. You ended up great, you're happy. But the thing is that didn't need to happen. I didn't need to go through all the things
what
that
needs to happen?
like I could have been happy anyways with like a normal set of circumstances, and that wasn't even like the
if
main
you're talking
point
about
of my
need,
argument.
though, think about what you're saying. If you're talking about need, it also doesn't need to happen that you abort a child. That doesn't need to happen. So when you use an example of need, right? This is like some type of imperative. This does not need to happen. Nothing needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
But the point. I don't even know how that's a point in your favor to say it didn't need to happen. So what? So what if it didn't need to happen?
Okay.
Aborting
maybe
a
I
kid
can
doesn't
say-
need to happen.
Maybe I can say that all of that rough shit made for better character development in my life. But like fundamentally, wouldn't you agree that like if a couple is like about to have a child, you would probably tell them no. Okay, maybe you don't want the abortion to happen because that's just so evil, but you'd probably tell them no if they're in really shitty financial, emotional circumstances beforehand.
That's kind of a eugenics
that would be
perspective,
so.
I
so
wouldn't
what
say
you're
that's
saying,
a eugenics
though. How is it
perspective.
not?
It's
If you're saying
bizarre.
people who are financially suitable
Yeah.
should only be the ones to have children, so
Yeah.
people in poverty should
No.
have children?
You can. I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
People should be able to have the choice if they know that they're going to
Let me
not
be
be
as
able to
charitable as I
take
can.
care
But
of
to
the
your
your
view.
arguments keep coming back to finances, and that's why I said at the end of the day, if
Yeah.
men were accountable for their actions as
But yes,
well
it
as
is a
the
eugenics
women,
argument,
and
but-
they
but
took
still.
accountability for their children, and they protected and provided for the woman and child, and you were able to continue to live your life unimpeded, then what would be your argument for abortion? Because the main thing that you continuously come back to is finances. So if the men were taking care of you and you were both responsible, then what's the issue?
I have a question. I know you want to like
Hang on.
complete your
Let
studies.
one question
Really
at a
quick,
time
no.
so she can respond. Though.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you wanted to be charitable, right?
Yeah, I was just saying. Now I'm doing it. I was just saying to be as charitable to your view as possible, which is I think that this is just your argument. If two people came to you and said we're thinking about having a child, but we're in all sorts of rough shape financially,
Big Sass Energy donated $200. You're more than
good.
fine. You live in the greatest country in the greatest time in the history of the world. Travel to other countries, get some goddamn perspective.
Damn, I know, I'm chilling. I'm just saying.
So
like,
anyway, you're just saying, would you advise them to, maybe wait to have children?
Yeah.
Sometimes, but sometimes not. Like, what if we took their age into account? We're like, okay, she's 33, he's 32. Then I wouldn't advise it. And be like, well, maybe things would be a little rough. But yeah, you probably should have them now if you're going to have them. But if you're talking about 21, 22 years old, sure, you might say, hey guys, you could wait a couple of years till, you have your feet under the ground a little bit better. Nobody's adverse to any of that. And it's not an argument in your favor for killing kids. Even if we grant the entire worldview, how in the world does it help you with your argument of taking out the kid? I don't
You're
get
not
it.
killing a kid, you're preventing it from being born. That's my
Oh.
view. So I know that's not y'all's view.
So
because
let
you
me
believe that birth
just make sure I
begins
get
at
this right.
conception.
Scott Peterson viciously murders his wife, kills unborn baby, right? Goes to prison for double homicides. You'd let him off on the one homicide, right? His unborn baby.
What? Oh, one homicide
somebody
instead of
kills
double
a
homicide?
pregnant-
Yeah, sure.
You would exempt him from the one homicide.
They're getting a life sentence anyway. Yes.
Okay, let's say he's only going to get 15 years.
Okay, then
What age do you think?
I just want to make sure
what
that
age
we're
do you
clear.
think
Hang on,
that
let me
it's-
the
finish.
age
Almost
that
done.
it is in the law.
Almost done. I just want to finish
Okay,
this.
so 24
Almost done.
weeks.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear. 9-month pregnant, stabbed in the stomach.
Okay, then that was
Ba-
double homicide. If it's past the legal
What's the
thing.
what if the
She just
legal
said it's 28
what if the
weeks.
legal thing is 8
I don't know.
months?
I don't know the law like
What if
that.
it's
I'm
8?
sorry.
What if it's 8? That's why don't muddy the water here for just a second. Let's say it's 8 months. Let's say 8 months. They say you can legally do it. Let's just say you can legally do it up to 9 months. There's legislation in places
Okay.
for that.
No.
No? Well, then when?
24 weeks.
Okay, so 24 weeks. It's 24 weeks in a day, then it's a double homicide. But it's 23 weeks. Nope. Then he gets away with it.
That's how it is with every law.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, but the point that you just tried to make is how every law has to be interpreted, like strictly. Yes, it would be single homicide before and double homicide
after. No, laws are
after.
interpreted on a case by case. But that aside, even assuming we were charitable to that, if you can't tell us when life even begins, why the fuck should we care about your opinion on abortion anyway?
I just said 24 weeks.
Because she told you that. But you couldn't tell us why it starts at 24 weeks.
I didn't say that's when life began.
You guys told me it was
we
at
believe
conception with the light
conception.
explosion.
I did not say that life began at 24
when
weeks.
you get too many, heads in the cookie jar with one conversation, it becomes this. I'm just saying, if we look at it, you would say that guy should get exempted from one of the murders. If he kills unborn kid. I just want to hear you say it.
This is not helping your point at all.
Well, then
My
just go ahead and
argument is
concede
that
to the
a woman
point.
should be able to end a child before 24 weeks if she's not ready.
Yeah, why 24
to have
weeks?
the child? Because that's what the scientists say is.
Oh, which ones?
About socially
the ones you just made
acceptable.
up. You didn't know when life began. 2
Which
minutes
ones are
ago.
they? Which ones are they?
2 minutes
The
ago,
scientists that say
you
that.
didn't know anything about the science of abortion.
You're scarecrowing right now. Or no,
What?
what's the fallacy? It's the one where you're attacking straw man. Yeah,
What's the straw man?
You're attacking my character for not knowing the scientific start date of when a baby
No.
is
I'm attacking
considered.
your direct position that you said I don't know
No, you're
when
not.
this begins. Did you not say
No,
that?
you're not. You're attacking the fact that
Is
I
it-
don't know.
So okay,
You're trying to make
wait
me
a
look
second. You
like
literally
I don't
just
know
said
things.
I
Which
don't
is true,
know.
I don't.
So then that's your position. How's that a straw man?
What? No, I said 20. Now I'm saying 24 weeks. You were saying
Yeah,
why should we trust you when
okay,
you don't know
fine.
the actual
Based
scientific
on-
date?
then
That's a straw man.
based on 24 weeks, right? You say 24 weeks. Why does life begin in 24 weeks?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So then, what the f- are you talking about? I'm straw manning you.
Okay, well, you have to do the research yourself. Sorry.
If you took a biology class, don't they say that basically life starts at fertilization?
No.
It starts
and
at
the last time I took a
conception.
bio
That's
class
not
was
at
my sophomore
conception.
year of high school.
But that's not what the argument is.
Constitution
I do have to
says
move
that
things
everyone
on. I
has
do have
the
to
right
move
to life,
things
liberty,
on.
and the
We've got